Do you know that every single day there are hundreds, if not thousands, and probably even millions of journalists who are looking for guests to interview on radio, television, magazines? There are event hosts that are looking for speakers to speak on panels, virtual summits, and live stages. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of media opportunities that are just waiting for quality guests to show up with amazing stories. My name's Angel Tuccy. I am a media exposure specialist, and they call me the media matchmaker because I help my guests and I help quality guests, right, find quality places to create exposure for their business. And here's our secret formula. Actually, not a secret, it's a strategy. Here's our strategy formula for helping you to create exposure in front of 100 audiences, 100 new audiences every year. And it is simply 3, 2, 1, right? We can do that, right? 3, 2, 1 media boost. So here's how it works. I'm going to show you how to connect with 3 journalists a week so that you are building relationships with the media long before you need them, connecting with them, creating quality content for them, and building that relationship. That's 3. 2, to conduct 2 interviews a week in front of somebody else's audience, OPA, other people's audiences. Leveraging the power of 2 audiences a week puts you in front of and gives you exposure in front of 100 audiences a year. And you can start to do the math. Imagine how many people you could impact in every single interview. And we start to create this momentum and this cadence because media attracts media and stages attract stages. And as you get into this momentum and create this cadence of being a guest on somebody else's platform every single week, your audience, your followers starts to fill up. And then of course you attract the right people into your sales castle. I call it your sales castle. 1 press release a month. Right? 1 press release a month creates the publicity and PR and buzz, gives you a story to send to those fabulous journalists that you're connecting with every single week. 3 journalists a week. We're going to send them that press release every single month to to be invited as a guest on their platform, to build that relationship with them and give them newsworthy stories that they can share with their followers. So let's get started, right? 3, 2, 1 boost, right? It's our media boost. Well, on a Wednesday in the middle of the month of March in 2018, I walked into my radio studio with a guest who had flown in to be a live guest in our studio. He flew in from Miami. This show was being broadcast in Denver, Colorado, where every single day I was live on the air, every weekday live on the air, hosting 2 back-to-back radio shows. I hosted a 2-hour positive business talk show. We interviewed 2 to 8 guests a day, depending on the schedule. And then in a commercial break, we would close up in that studio, run around the corner, and I would broadcast a Christian lifestyle show, talking to moms in minivans in the afternoon. So I was hosting 4 hours of talk radio back to back every single day. During my 10-year career, I think we had well over 2,500 broadcasts that I conducted, right? So if you're a podcaster and you're doing podcasts and you're getting to those momentous milestones, right? Your first 50, right? Your first 100, heck, your first 10 is super exciting, right? We had over 2,500 broadcasts and interviewed well over 5,000 guests during my broadcasting lifetime. So here it is, a beautiful March day in Denver on a Wednesday, March 2018. I walk into my studio. We've got, we're setting up everything for the broadcast. He flew in from Miami. He's setting up his tripod and his camera because he's going to go live and live stream that he's here in the studio. It was a super exciting day. 5 minutes before we were going live on the air, our producer pulled us into his office, me and my co-host, and said these words that just changed my life, right? Changed the day, kind of dropped the lead balloon on us in that moment. They said, "We've made a change. We've made a change." And like that, we're off the air. Right? Pulled from our broadcast, pulled from not just one show, but both shows, and handed a cardboard box I put my disco ball, right? My disco ball. We used to put that up every single Friday as we hosted a disco dance party celebrating great business owners and great businesses all across the country. Put my disco ball in my cardboard box and escorted out of the building with my guests that had flown in from Miami. A pretty embarrassing departure, right? Because here I'm live on the air. My phone's blowing up. Where are you? We're tuning in. You're not on the air. Right? Emails, Facebook messages, text messages, phone call buzzing, and yet we had to like have the show go on. So we took our guest back to our office and did a series of videos so that he could have something, right? Something, some production, some value out of the trip of him flying from Miami to Denver to be live and to have that media exposure. So we did what we could to establish that and create that for him and put a smile on our face, right? Show up for work, even when you're feeling just completely down in the dumps. But isn't that just sometimes how life goes, right? It's the peaks and valleys, right? We're down in the valley, and sometimes we're down in that valley because of the peak, right? We're climbing to the peak. This is where maybe we're tested. Maybe we have some refinement to go through, a lesson to learn. But many times we're in these valleys so that we can show others that we can climb this mountain too. That we've been, like, I know how you feel. I've been there, I've been down, and I've had to climb my way out of it too. What was so beautiful about this opportunity of being in this valley is the opportunity to now teach entrepreneurs, authors, small business owners, coaches, speakers, how to leverage the power of media exposure for their businesses, for their brands. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been working with my advertisers. I've been working with authors. We've been interviewing authors. And so I went away for the weekend and mapped out a whole list of things. If you want to create exposure for your business, if you want to be interviewed on radio, we'd also run a television show and we had a magazine. If you want this media exposure, what does it take? And so I mapped it all out and I actually created a 12-week system and I called it Media Mastery, right? A 12-week system where step by step, these are all the things: how to write your story, how to get it out, what it needs to include, how often to pitch, right? Who to pitch to, what to pitch, the whole kit and caboodle, right? We mapped it out and I called it Media Mastery. In a single weekend, I turned on my microphone and recorded the audio version of this Media Mastery program, which was 12 modules, 12 weeks. And then we added to that a 3-day Media Mastery Bootcamp that we put together to teach this 90-day Media Mastery system. And then I started traveling, speaking to small business expos all across the country. And in that first year, I think we did over 100 events, right? Where we're talking to entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, and speakers, how to leverage the power of media exposure over 90 days. And we called it Media Mastery. Today, I want to teach you how we've shortened that, how you can guarantee media exposure in just 10 days. And we call it the 3-2-1 Media Boost. It's a 10-day media challenge in order to create that guaranteed momentum, to kickstart the momentum, get your foot in the door, craft your media pitch, your media story, and get yourself like out on that trajectory of 2 interviews a week, right? 1 press release a month, and connecting with 3 journalists every single week. So what does that take? What do you need in order to create this 3-2-1 media boost experience? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm so glad you asked. The very first piece, right, is we're going to build relationships with journalists who are covering your topic, who are looking for stories in your genre, right? Who are looking for people with stories just like yours. And the way that we find them is we have to first position ourselves as that expert in the space. So often we want to wear like all the hats, right? I want to be this and this, and I can talk on this, I can talk on anything. And we think that by offering this smorgasbord, right, this buffet of topics, right? Well, what do you want? Do you want somebody who is an empty nester? I can talk on that. Do you want somebody who relocated from Denver to Orlando? I can talk about that. Do you want to talk about having a family who all works at Disney World? I can talk about that. Like, I have different topics. You have different topics, expertise, right? If I handed you a microphone and said, without any preparation at all, What could you passionately speak about for 20 minutes? This is the space that I want you to stay in, right? This is the thing that juices you up, gets you all excited. Probably it's the information that you're sharing with your followers every single day. People coming to you, they want to pick your brain, right? I want to pick your brain. Angel, I want to pick your brain about media. I want to pick your brain about press releases. I want to pick your brain about publishing. Right? They want to pick your brain about something in particular. And so when you think about it, as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, so often we spend our days sharing our great content over and over again, right? In one-on-one phone calls, coffee meetings, leads groups that we're seeing the same people every single week, having that same conversation over and over again. This is your magnet, right? Magnets attract, right? This is what brings people to you. And so I want you to think about your magnet. What is your magnet topic that you speak on that without, having to prep? Like, I could hand you a microphone. You could just speak passionately about it. You could be interviewed about it. You could talk about it. You could put together a presentation. You could be on the phone at a cocktail party, a networking event, on stage, in a panel. This is your magnet. This is the thing that juices you up. It's your jam. And so if we're going to start to kind of craft out like our topic and our magnet and position ourselves as a content expert. If I was to, I just have this little sticky note, right? If I was to create like just 2 lines, and I'm going to make 3 columns out of that, right? So here's my little sticky note, right? This is a heart, right? Oops, heart, because we're passionate about it. We want to make sure that there's money in this space so that you can monetize your media opportunities. And then we want to find the media outlets and opportunities that cover your expertise, your magnet. And so we're going to craft all of this together for you so that you can position yourself as a content expert. We're going to build relationships with journalists. We're going to seek out the media opportunities and the media platforms that are already looking for guests in that space who cover that topic. And then we're going to put a press release together, and we're going to send it to those journalists every single month and follow up with a press release every single month and start to build out those 2 interviews a week. We've created some great media resources for you. We have a complimentary media starter kit at my website, makeyourbigimpact.com, makeyourbigimpact.com. And then we also have a 321 media boost, which is our 10-day media challenge. It's a master course that we've put together for you. And you can also have access to that when you go to makeyourbigimpact.com. But I just want you to know that today, like, just to get you all excited that there are so many opportunities for you. And I can't wait to see you in the news. Cheers.